Another sign of the holiday season is here. The NBC5 Salvation Army angel trees will go up today.
There was a lot of traffic around the Salvation Army angel tree at Northeast Mall in Hearst today.
When a mom has been able to come and fill out a tag for her child, and she's been able to share a wish and a need, then we have an idea of what that family, we know, for instance, if this 12-year-old boy is into sports or into something else like art, and we're able to more personalize the gift that is chosen for them.
Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings helped kick off the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign today, along with the Salvation Army Brass Band. The mayor put on a red Salvation Army volunteer apron, dropped in his donation, then rang a bell while Neiman Marcus employees walked by to place their own dollars into the Red Kettle.
You know, Salvation Army serves so many homeless, so many families in need, and so many young kids. Domestic violence, you know, is a big issue for me, and they take in so many women that come from broken homes like that. So it's an honor for me to kind of support them.
Well, it's an undeniable sound of the season, but this year it has been quieter than usual. We are talking about the chimes of the Salvation Army bell ringers, the organization falling short by hundreds of volunteers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
It's one of the most fun ways to volunteer. Everybody smiles walking by the kettle. Little kids put money in all the time. And you're supporting a great cause, because this money doesn't just help us at Christmas time. It helps support our programs all year long for people battling homelessness, addiction, poverty, and it's really critical to our operation.
This is the situation for the Salvation Army here in Plano. There are 17 red kettles in this cart. These are the ones that will be out and available for people to donate to today. And it might look like a lot in one place, but there are 35 designated red kettle points across this entire city. So this represents less than half of what could be out there.
So why a shortage of workers? It may be thanks to a good economy.
The seasonal workers that we often rely on to take a good portion of those sites, we just can't hire anybody this year because they won't take a job at what we pay. So we really need way more volunteers.
One North Texas family decided to give back in a big way after hearing about the Salvation Army's Red Kettle volunteer shortage. This afternoon, Ross Perot Jr. and his family announced that they will match every donation made into the Red Kettles up to $500,000.
It's a matching grant, so every dollar raised, my wife and I will match that donation to help give the Army the needed boost to get us into 2019 to take care of the men and women in our community.
Well, quite the scene in Cowtown this morning. Chopper 11 was overhead as a group of cowboys on horseback tried to drive a herd of cattle around Ridgemar Mall in Fort Worth. You can see at times it didn't go exactly as planned. The cows got a little out of control, and as funny as it was to watch, this live cattle drive does carry a serious message from the Salvation Army.
We're kicking off our kettle drive, our Red Kettle campaign here in Fort Worth with a cattle drive around the mall to bring awareness to the much-needed funds that we raise this time every year to help people all year long who are in need.
Pulling off the Christmas morning surprise takes a lot of hard work and a lot of heart.
People taping bags, people laying bags.
Bill Barcani is the go-to guy inside the Salvation Army warehouse, overseeing the sorting and sending of generous donations.
Countless man hours, countless volunteers are what make this work.
A demanding task he's perfectly suited for. For 11 months out of the year, Bill is a baggage handler for Southwest Airlines, getting people's bags where they need to go.
I'm going to get you guys going.
But when the holidays approach, Bill takes off work, using his vacation time to volunteer an entire month, getting kids' wishes where they're needed most. The need is overwhelming.
For a lot of families that receive gifts here, if it weren't for this, there would be no Christmas.
The gift of his time, Bill says, is nothing compared to what he gets back.
Some Christmas helpers today were checking their lists and filling bags of goodies. Each of the sacks was loaded with $100 worth of gifts. Now, this whole operation was started by a 6-year-old named Charlie, who decided to fulfill a wish for one child he picked out from the Salvation Army angel tree. Well, that 6-year-old is now in his teens, and as he grew, so did his tradition. He started a whole group called Charlie's Angels to brighten Christmas morning for more kids in need. Charlie's Angels raised $8,300 this year, and so they stuffed those $100 bags for 83 kids this time. And Charlie will be dropping the presents off at the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army of Denton held its Red Kettle campaign kickoff today at Golden Triangle Mall. Last year's campaign raised $120,000, but this year they're going for $125,000.
Salvation Army served traditional Thanksgiving meals to nearly 2,000 people in North Texas. It's a great service for families who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford a Thanksgiving meal. The Salvation Army in Lancaster Boulevard and Fort Worth also served hundreds of dinners today.
The Salvation Army really believes in reaching out to our neighbors, and so we're so glad to be able to do it every year on Thanksgiving Day.
And he sets a good example for the Rooks, too. Michael Gallup with the spin move here as the Cowboys rookies engaged in their annual tradition of loading up Salvation Army trucks with donations.
I love doing it. I love, just knowing that you're helping some families, some kids.
There were a lot of moments in the Cowboys' victory over the Redskins today that made Cowboys fans smile. Some came after touchdowns or big defensive plays, like Ezekiel Elliott's $21 donation to the Salvation Army's Red Kettle. Elliott, number 21. And then Zeke's donation of Dak Prescott after the quarterback's rushing touchdown, which was penalized and could have been costly in a close game.
Big hole, hurdle, inside the 20.
Zeke, was that the best leap that you've had in your career?
I don't know. I'm leaving it up to you guys to decide.
I'd say it's the second best leap in Zeke's career, right behind his leap into the Salvation Army Red Kettle a couple of years ago.
Want to support Dak Prescott and the Salvation Army? Well, check out this T-shirt. It features number 4 standing proudly in a Salvation Army Red Kettle.
The Salvation Army's Angel Tree program hopes to collect more than 250,000 gifts for local families this holiday season. But some people who could use the help are afraid to sign up because of deportation fears.
And they don't know if we are a government agency that will use their information for purposes that wouldn't be beneficial to them.
The Salvation Army wants to assure anyone who might be concerned about seeking help that they are not affiliated with the government.
Meanwhile, earlier today, the Cowboys did what might be the best thing they do all year. Their annual Thanksgiving dinner for the homeless at Salvation Army locations around North Texas. Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, even Cowboys legend DeMarcus Ware showed up today, all serving meals and spreading some smiles.
We're waiting for the after-school program with the Salvation Army for some kids to come on out here, and we're going to be able to take them around the rink, and they're going to be hanging on probably to the wall right here and doing that number. But it's going to be a whole lot of fun here at Panther Island Ice. So
A small army of volunteers keep the traditional Christmas meals coming.
We need one more.
Served up for special guests like Savella Eccles and her family. 4 generations.
My baby, my grandson, my 2 great-grandbabies.
Enjoying their first holiday meal together in a very long time.
That's our daughter down there. She's been incarcerated for 18 years. So this is our first Christmas together in 18 years.
I've always loved Salvation Army because the mercy that they have and the love and compassion that they show for everybody.
You need some more drink?
One of those servers, our own Fox 4 photojournalist Kevin Bell.
Everybody good on the drink?
Volunteering with his wife and daughter.
You put the camera down. Why spend the holiday here?
I've been so blessed. And it's just, you come in here, you see people, and you just realize, what a blessing you are to them. And then, twofold, because I come back and I'm blessed.
Well, the Cowboys, they teamed up with JCPenney today for a generous donation to the Salvation Army. We're talking $100,000. Charlotte Jones Anderson was on hand to present that check, along with the Cowboys legend, Michael Irvin. So the two there also pitched in along with dozens of volunteers. They gathered gifts from the Salvation Army's massive warehouse there to distribute to parents who applied for assistance. So a lot of good work going on there this holiday season.
22 years ago, Jerry Jones and his only daughter, Charlotte Jones Anderson, teamed up with the Salvation Army and turned the Thanksgiving game into a yearly launching pad for the Red Kettle campaign. A deal that his daughter made during a meeting with former NBC Sports executive Dick Ebersol. They needed him to air the halftime show.
And I looked over there, and you could see that this was no time for old Jerry, the daddy, to butt in. This thing was going strong and going the right way. And so I literally finally just settled back in my seat and just sat there and listened to Charlotte make the biggest sale we probably have ever made since having the Dallas Cowboys.
The search is on tonight for a holiday Grinch who police say stole a Salvation Army Red Kettle. It happened at the Walmart on Anderson Boulevard in Fort Worth.
We trust that the community will once again step up and meet that need, especially in this time of crisis for us in the Salvation Army. And so we know in the holiday season we can count on the community to do that.
NBC5's Courtney Gilmore live for us this morning at the Christmas warehouse in Dallas, where Santa's helpers have been hard at work. Courtney?
But in just 1 month, this is what our viewers have helped to do. Bring in all of these toys and take a look right here. You see those bags still coming in. Now, there's still work to be done, though. That's why volunteers will be hard at work later on. We'll have more details for you coming up at 6:30. Mark, back to you.
Mike sent us this video. He says he couldn't help but put a few dollars into the Salvation Army's Red Kettle after hearing Johnny sing her heart out in front of the West Worth Village Walmart.
A Keller third grader is making sure homeless kids have something cute to cuddle with this Christmas Eve.
Yeah, Stella Austin sewed stuffed kittens to give away to young people in need. This morning, she'll be giving 40 of her handmade creations to children at the Salvation Army's Maybe Social Service Center in Fort Worth. Stella learned how to make stuffed animals after getting a sewing machine for Christmas last year.
Very
impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.